Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Goeienaand. We are gathered here this evening to talk a little bit about the Faculty of Engineering and your opportunity as a prospective engineering student at Stellenbosch University. You are one of a very select group of individuals. We had more than 4,600 applications for only 770 places at Stellenbosch University in the Faculty of Engineering. This evening we're going to talk about why do you have to study, or why is it a good choice to come and study engineering at Stellenbosch? What is the first year of our degree all about? What is new for 2021? What challenges could you expect? The support we have available to make sure that you are a successful student, and what are your parents' expectations? What is very important is that when one studies engineering, that you do that at a EXA, or Engineering Council of South Africa, accredited institution. All our degrees at Stellenbosch University are accredited by the Engineering Council of South Africa. That means they are eligible, or you will be eligible, to register as a professional engineer at all the different countries which are part of the Washington Accord. That includes the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Singapore, and a host of other countries. At Stellenbosch University, we have 6 different engineering programs. We have chemical engineering, civil engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, mechanical engineering, mechatronic engineering, and industrial engineering. Why Stellenbosch? Well, at our faculty, we have 3 key objectives and priorities for 2021. The first is to maintain our EXA accredited undergraduate programs. The second one is to grow our postgraduate programs, especially the number of doctoral and postdoctoral fellows. And lastly, to improve the interaction with and support by industry, including the development of key international partnerships and increase the third and fourth income streams into the Faculty of Engineering. Just some numbers about our faculty. In 2019, we had just over 3,000 undergraduate students and just below 1,000 postgraduate students. We awarded 562 Bachelors of Engineering degrees, 217 master's degrees, and a record number of 60 doctoral degrees. We typically take in about 750 first years every year, and between 70 to 75% of these first years are successful with an engineering degree. Some of those who are not successful to complete an engineering degree will transfer to other degree programs in the university and still get a degree from Stellenbosch University. In South Africa, at all the institutions in engineering, the success rate is only 44%. So you can see that our success rate is significantly higher than in the rest of the country. About half of our first years are able to complete their degree in 4 years. The rest will take 5 or at most 6 years. We also make sure that we have quite a diversified intake of our first years. And as you can see on this slide, we have been growing our BCI, or our Black, African, Colored, Indian, and Asian students significantly. Some statistics about our faculty. We typically graduate just over 500 students with a Bachelor's of Engineering degree, and in the lower graph you can see the number of master students that we've graduated over the years. And as I said before, we had a record of 60 PhD students in 2019 and the March graduation of 2020. A question that we are frequently asked is, what is the language of tuition at Stellenbosch University in the Faculty of Engineering? We are accessible for both Afrikaans and English-speaking students. And the way that we manage that is in that the first year we have parallel classes. So there are English classes and Afrikaans classes, and students can decide which one of these different language groups they want to join. In the second year, we also have some parallel classes where we have large number of students, specifically in our engineering mathematics and our applied mathematics. But slowly the classes will then transfer into only English language medium. In the 3rd and the 4th year, all lectures will be in English. However, during the course of your studies, all tests and exams will be set in Afrikaans and English, and students also have the option to answer in either Afrikaans or English. We have a very language-friendly environment in our faculty, and if a student would ask a question in Afrikaans, even if it is in an English medium class, it will be answered in Afrikaans if the lecturer can speak Afrikaans. But then, of course, the lecturer will also translate the question into English and also tell the English students what the answer to that question was. So, what to expect for your programs? Firstly, in our Bachelors of Engineering, we have a common first year, except for the data engineering stream, which I will talk about a little bit later. This means that if you're accepted for, let's say, civil engineering at Stellenbosch University, and then after the first year you want to transfer into mechanical or electronic engineering, you can do that without any questions asked if you have passed all your modules. In the case where you may have missed passing 1 or 2 modules, there is still a chance that you could transfer into the other program, but then you need the permission of the chair of the program into which you want to transfer so that they will allow you to do that. We also have a number of assessments throughout the modules to make sure that you can monitor your own progress, but we have 3 main assessments. One is we have a test week in the Faculty of Engineering, where during a single week, all our undergraduate students write all the tests during the course of the semester. We call those tests the so-called A1 or the Assessment 1. Then in the normal exam period, we have another 2 assessments, the so-called A2s and A3s. If after the A2s you still haven't passed the module and you have a mark between 40 and 50%, you are allowed to write the A3s as sort of a supplementary exam to see whether you will finally pass that module. However, if you are sick during any one of the A1 or A2 exam periods, then you will be required to write the A3 because you need to write at least 2 of our assessments in order to pass each module. In the first semester, as a first-year student, you will be studying engineering mathematics and applied mathematics, chemistry, drawing, physics, and professional communication. In the second semester, you will continue with your engineering mathematics and applied mathematics. There's also a module on computer programming, electrotechniques, and strength of material. And then in each one of the different programs, there will be a program-specific elective. So what is new in 2020 and then, of course, also in 2021? From 2020, we are the first university that has a stream in data engineering. So I think we are all aware of the explosion of data and the analysis of data throughout all the different areas of our lives, whether it's Facebook or the bank, or if you go to the gym, you are being tracked all the time. Successful companies are exploiting data to give them a leg up in the world. And what we've introduced is a new 4-year degree program with a lot of statistics and a lot of computer science mixed into our electric and electronic engineering program so that you will graduate as a data engineer. What are the challenges that you could expect? Firstly, there are many bright students who come and study at Stellenbosch University Faculty of Engineering. In this chart, you can see that about 3/4 of our students will have an average of 80% or more. So these are really, really bright fellow students that you will meet here. The reason we do that is engineering is quite a tough degree program, and therefore we have to make sure you have the academic ability to be successful in engineering. There are some very stark differences between the school and the university. In the school, normally it's a very local area and you'll only meet students or fellow learners from your own province or from South Africa. At university, we also have quite a number of international students in our undergraduate program. At school, you might have been a big fish in a small pond. However, at the university, the pond is really big, but there are also many, many big fishes around. At school, there are people who force you to work. Teachers put a lot of pressure on you. Your parents are making sure you do your homework, etc. At university, it's the other way around. You are completely responsible for your own destiny. And we expect you to take charge of your learning while dealing with all the different distractions that you will have at university. This is the timetable. And as you can see, it's a very, very busy timetable with only a few wide open periods throughout the course of the week. Our engineering students are known as students who attend lots of classes starting from 8 o'clock in the morning until normally 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There's an hour off for lunch, and then each afternoon there will be a tutorial or a practical in the different modules that you are taking. And you can see even on a Friday afternoon there will be engineering drawing. Typically, our modules consist of 15 credits. So 15 credits is about 150 hours of work. That includes the main test and the preparation for that for an additional 30 hours. Typically 12 weeks at 10 hours per week per module. And of course, there are 5 modules of 15 credit each, which gives you a 50-hour week. 50 hours is are many hours in a week. 32 of those hours you will spend in class, and 18 hours we expect you to work after class. That's at least 3 hours per day for 6 days. Let's talk a little bit about Stellenbosch, the town, and the safety that you may have to face here. Stellenbosch is probably not more dangerous than any other town in South Africa, but you must be responsible and you must take reasonable safety precaution. One of the major risks is pub crawling and then being very vulnerable after you had a couple of beers on your way back to residences. We also recommend that female students shouldn't walk around alone, especially after dark, and also not in isolated spots. We encourage students to walk around in groups. We have a very active campus security division. They have foot patrols in place, and they are also available to walk you back to your residence from the faculty if you have to work late. And of course, the big advantage that we now have in Stellenbosch is Uber. Stellenbosch is known in the Uber environment as one of the towns in the world with the most trips which are less than 2 kilometers. Here are some of the emergency numbers of campus security, and you are always welcome to call them if you feel unsafe, if you need to be escorted from one of our buildings to your motor vehicle, or if you need an escort back to your residence. What support do we have available in our faculty to make sure that you will be a successful student? Well, engineering is difficult, and at the same time, it costs a lot of money to be at university. So therefore, people always wonder, will I be successful? And how do I maintain the right balance between work and play? One way that we try to assist our first-year students to find this balance is in the first semester, every Monday, there is a dean's period. During that period, myself, or in some cases, the vice dean teaching, will interact with the students. We will try to give you guidance. We will listen to some of the problems that you might be facing, and we will try to give you good advice of how to maintain the balance, how to prepare for tests, and how to approach your studies. It's part of the professional communication module. There are also many other places in the university where you can find additional assistance. The support staff in the faculty consists of our new Vice Dean teaching, Professor Celeste Viljoen. Also, we have Mr. August Engelbrecht, who is responsible for student recruitment. We have Ms. Avril Ford, responsible for student support. And then we also have in our faculty 2 educational psychologists who on a part-time basis are available free of charge for our students to make use of. You have to arrange an appointment with one of them through Ms. Ford. We also arrange additional support after the end of classes every day. These are group work sessions where we encourage our first years to form study groups, or where you can find a network of study buddies. If you want to be successful at Stellenbosch University in engineering, it's very important to develop very effective and useful study methods early on. And one of these will be to find a small group of friends with whom you can discuss your problems, who you can work together on tutorials, and can prepare yourself for the various assessments. It has to come from both parties to be successful at Stellenbosch. We all want you to be successful, and we all want you to obtain a world-class qualification. Therefore, it will not be easy, but it will need hard work, it will need self-discipline, it will need integrity. We strictly apply our rules and regulations. You have to become mature very, very quickly, and most importantly, you have to accept responsibility for your own destiny at Stellenbosch University. Obtaining your Bachelor's of Engineering should be your main priority at Stellenbosch University. All the other distractions like sport, house functions, residence functions, the wonderful mountains and the ocean that we have, those should always come second. And you should always ask yourself, can I afford taking this time off if I want to be successful this year and complete my first year? Let's talk a little bit to your parents and what are their expectations. It's very important that our parents stay engaged with our students. We want you to maintain contact. We want you to encourage them. We want to make sure that you are aware of their progress, and you have to encourage them to aim high. The best method the best opportunity to ensure a successful study at Stellenbosch is to catch problems early, and we rely on the support structure of our parents to make sure that they flag the students that we can assist them. We will try to inform the parents about your progress as well as any other issues that we become aware of. However, the new Privacy Act makes it difficult for us in this regard. For example, we cannot provide the marks of a student to a parent that calls us. We need the permission of a student in order to share a student's mark with the parents. So sometimes if we do not respond to your questions on that, you will understand that it's because of the new POPI laws in the country. There are many ways in which we encourage our students to resolve the problems. We have a very well-established class representative structure, and that would always be the first call if there are problems in a class. The class representative will take the problems identified by the students directly to the lecturer and discuss it with them. If the problems remain unresolved, they can come speak to myself or the Vice Dean Teaching. They can also make use of the Engineering Student Council representatives, and once per semester, myself, the Vice Dean Teaching, the lecturers of the first year meet all the class representatives of the different first year groups, and we go in detail through every module and any issues that might have cropped up during the course of a semester. If your child has a problem, we encourage that you ask them to speak to the lecturer, to also speak to Ms. Ford, to visit an educational psychologist at the Center for Student Counseling and Development, to make an appointment to come and see myself or the Vice Dean. However, we want our students to take responsibility to solve their problems, and we ask you to assist them. But they need to take on the responsibility, they need to seek the help, and eventually they will have to implement the solutions that will be provided by the different professionals that will assist them. It's also important that we don't wait until the problems become a crisis. The sooner we flag a problem, the sooner we start to address these problems, the better for our students and the more successful they will be. So what is the reward? The reward is a quality degree that is recognized worldwide. Some of our graduates have joined some of the best universities in the world for further studies. Now we're talking about the MITs of the world, the Stanfords, the Berkeleys, the Oxfords, and the Cambridges. So we really are proud that our students are accepted all over the world with an undergraduate degree from Stellenbosch. They will also be able to solve very complex technical problems. They will have the ability to make a success of a variety of different jobs. Many engineers don't end up in engineering. A lot of the engineers end up in places where you will not expect them. Even the current CEO of First National Bank is an alumnus of our faculty. So we really want you to be successful. We really want you to come and join Stellenbosch. You will end up getting a very, very valuable degree. It will take hard work, and we look forward to meet you next year at Stellenbosch University. Thank you very much. Baie dankie, enkosi.
Engineers are people that find problems, analyze them, and create innovative solutions to them.
They do more than just create. They also allow for growth and change.
Engineers are people that help better communities, people that improve the country.
They are wonderful people. They're not as nerdy as people think they are. They are actually human beings.
The Faculty of Engineering at Stellenbosch University is definitely one of the leading engineering faculties in the country. We have a very, very high standard. We have a very significant research profile.
First year is a common year that all of the engineering disciplines share. From second year onwards, you specialize in your engineering direction.
Students don't just learn the theory, but they actually can use the tools as well.
There are a lot of different laboratories and you build up a lot of practical experience.
We have great computer facilities where all the programs we need are available.
There's more than one study center. There's libraries to help a student with anything that they require.
Stellenbosch is not only about the academics. There's a wide range of societies and sports. You can play rugby, you can play music.
Stellenbosch has a very vibrant atmosphere.
There's so many things to do. There's so many different types of people that you meet.
It's really the package you'd want.
Some people think that engineering is still very male-dominated, but when I came here I was pleasantly surprised. There are a ton of girls, women that study engineering, enjoy it, excel at it.
Initially, I thought you'd need to know Afrikaans. It needed to be your first language. However, I was wrong. All the courses are available in English.
Graduates are equipped to work in fields such as robotics, machine learning, biotech, aeronautics.
But we get taught a wider range of skills which can be applied in various sectors also.
You can get a lot of jobs in different industries. Overseas, you can find yourself maybe in an industry such as finance.
Everywhere where something needs to be built, where a problem needs to be solved, you'll need an engineer. Who would enjoy engineering? I'd absolutely have to say those that enjoy science and maths.
People that love detailed analysis of problems, but also love incorporating creativity into their solutions.
You need to have the passion for learning. You need to be determined.
It needs passion, it needs you.
So if you've been thinking about it, just go ahead and do it, because it will change your life and it will open up so many opportunities for you in the future.
Hello grade 12s, and also greetings to your mom and dad and your family sitting around with you. My name is August Engelbrecht. I'm in the Dean's office, and earlier you heard the Dean talking about the support systems in our faculty to support the first year students, and I'm part of that particular team. First of all, congratulations, you have been accepted or provisionally accepted for engineering studies in 2021. But wait a bit, that is not accepted at any university. you are accepted at Stellenbosch University, a world-class institution. So we look forward to welcome you to become part of this engineering family at Stellenbosch. Let me introduce you to one of our first-year students. His name is Gary Allen. Gary matriculated at Rondebosch Boys High. Of course, you know that is one of the top schools in the Western Cape and in South Africa. But something about Gary, he ended his matric last year as the second best performer of quintile 5 schools. And so I'm very happy to introduce you to Gary. Welcome, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm good, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Gary, just tell us, when you were at school, what were some of your career options?
So I've always been interested in technology. So two of the kind of choices I was deciding between were computer science and engineering. I was also a little bit interested in business, but ultimately went the technology route just because of my love for technology overall. Yeah.
Okay, so I hear engineering is part of that, those options. So why did you ultimately decide it's going to be engineering?
I think definitely the more hands-on sort of degree that engineering is, and I'm studying electrical engineering, it gives you a really good foundation overall to go into further fields such as specializing in computer science or audio engineering, or just to sort of specify further. So it's just a really good foundation, and also I enjoy a challenge. So.
Excellent. Now, Gary, looking at your matric marks, I am so confident that all universities in South Africa would have loved you to come and study at their institution. And there's even top universities in the world that would have loved you to come and study at their institution. So why did you choose Stellenbosch University?
So I actually only applied to Stellenbosch. I kind of saw, because my older sister is still studying at Stellenbosch. She also studied engineering. So I saw the kind of vibe of Stellenbosch through her. And really it does just the whole community around the Stellenbosch area, and the fact that it's such a homey student town, like it really is a home away from home. I got that sense through her from the beginning, and also the strength of the engineering faculty at Stellenbosch. It really is a great institution to give you an awesome foundation.
Excellent. Now, Gary, there are certain myths that many people have about Stellenbosch University, and maybe you've heard some of these yourself. What was some of these myths, and what was your experience?
Probably the main one would be the sort of before coming to Stellenbosch, I did think it was going to be an extremely Afrikaans university, but there's different kinds of people from all different diverse backgrounds. So no matter where you come from, you will sort of find that group that you'll stay friends with, and it's not nearly as Afrikaans as I expected it to be.
Yeah, excellent. And it's good to see how you have adjusted to Stellenbosch University and you've integrated yourself in the student community. So you say that you are studying electronic engineering. Gary, where do you want engineering to take you? How do you see yourself making a difference in future in engineering?
Yeah, so I mentioned audio engineering. I'm really interested in music and music production as well. So I want to sort of combine my love for technology and engineering and computers with my love for music. And I feel like engineering is a really good foundation to sort of learn about all those specific details. And then I can combine music and audio with that and sort of work in that industry.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Now, Gary, 2020 will forever be known as the year that COVID-19 have made a complete difference in this world, even in the world of tertiary institutions or studies. Looking back at 2020 thus far, what were some of the major differences that you've experienced between school and university?
I would say, even just looking at the one term that I was here physically in Stellenbosch, definitely the independence was a major thing. You sort of, at high school, you still have like your mom, for example, or teachers kind of looking after you, making sure you do your homework, but there isn't really any of that when you get to university. But it's definitely for the better. Definitely you grow, even in that one term, you grow so much through having this independence, and with a difficult degree like engineering, you learn how to be more independent and how to manage your time, etc. So yeah, that would probably be the major difference.
Okay, so being a disciplined, hard-working student, of course I can see the results of that. How do you relax? How do you unwind? How do you strike a balance
There's definitely just time management and keeping the overall picture in mind. You even with a tough degree like engineering, you still have plenty of time or enough time to do things such as sport and socialize with friends and relax a bit. You just got to sort of look at the overall picture, I guess, and make sure that you stay on track. But you definitely don't have to give up those sort of things that maybe you had in high school, like sport, etc.
Okay. Now, the grade 12s listening to you or seeing you now, they will be sitting for their final exams within the next few weeks. If you have one tip for the grade 12s, what would that be?
Probably be just to kind of give it your all. I mean, you've studied for 12 years now. This is sort of where it actually really counts. So this last little stretch of final exams, just to sort of put the pedal to it and grind it out for the last few weeks, work your hardest, because it really does set you up for life. It sets you up for university, even maybe for job experience afterwards, you know. So just kind of work hard. There's no secret. Just give it your all.
All right. So I told you earlier that these grade 12s, they've been provisionally accepted for engineering at Stellenbosch University, but they also have many other options where they can study next year. Why would you say to a student, come to Stellenbosch, take on that offer, and we'll see you in 2021?
Just connecting probably to the answer earlier, it really is such an awesome environment, such an awesome place, such a, like, it sounds cheesy, but such a home away from home, you know, and the engineering faculty specifically is extremely strong. It really will give you an awesome foundation. So yeah, if there's any place to choose for engineering, I think Stellenbosch is definitely the way to go.
All right, so grade 12s, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. A first year student that were in your shoes last year as a matriculant, we would heartily welcome you as a new Marty engineering student in 2021. So we're waiting on you.